Okay, so three things that I learned that I think will be helpful in my current job or future career. The first would be the idea of pull instead of push. So um, just thinking about all the things that I typically see as push, like going to the store and trying to predict things rather than planning ahead and being able to look back on what I'm going to need instead of trying to push and buying more than I actually end up needing. And the same goes for the work site, because when you're doing inventory control and ordering for different projects you might be working on, you want to make sure that you have a solid plan and be able to have the customer start the process rather than you start the process, so that you're not overproducing or over ordering. The example of the hospital I thought was really cool, because I've never really thought outside the manufacturing side of production, but hospitals really, when you think about it, are very inefficient in the way they do their patients, the way they have a lot of waste in the time that people sit around and the materials that they use, and just applying a lot of these principles outside of manufacturing, I think, helped me understand a lot about how you really can use these principles, not just in a manufacturing setting. Another thing would be the Kanban visuals, and level production in particular is something that I think is very interesting, because especially when they use the example in the book of the dad who had the busy breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but did not. They were usually overstaffed in the low points of the day, so he came up with the idea of doing brunch promotions or late lunch promotions and having that happy hour, so that there's not so many hot spots, but more of a level production. I thought that was a really cool example of ways that you can see level production outside of the workplace, but still apply it in the workplace, in that you're not getting all of these work in processes built up and all these bottlenecks in the process, and you're trying to stay ahead of the curve, so you're not I guess getting things backed up. But a third thing that I thought was pretty interesting was value stream mapping, and something that I definitely want to do some more research into, where you look at a process from start to finish and see where the real value is added, and then seeing where the real waste is. I think that's very applicable to anything that you do, especially in jobs, because anytime that you're just sitting around, or anytime that you're working on one project at the risk of not being able to finish another one is not good for the job. So being able to look at those value streams of past work and seeing where you can make improvements, I think, is super helpful. So